What's that face for? You look so thoroughly unimpressed right now. Look at this. Look what I have to work with. You look more miserable than a regular co-host. Don't you? Good girl. You look like a stuffed dog over there. Gotta make sure you're real. Oh, there she goes. Lying down. She's had enough screen time. How is everybody? Hope you're doing well on this fine Sunday afternoon, which I'm very annoyed with. Had plans, well, not really. We wanted to go do something. And then it's like 10 inches. No, not quite. 10 centimeters of snow. Not wonderful, I gotta say. It's like spring's here for a week, and then it's not. And then it's back, and it's not. It's like a little bit irritating, so. Antoine, 1357. First one on time. That should clear up the signal. First one on time, didn't pay a dime. Yes, Antoine, thank you. Everybody hit that like button. Let's get these likes up. He be live, even Matt Boardman's here. Wow. Good to see you, man. Anyway, just thought I'd go live to this today because there's really not much else going on. And I know you guys want to see a live where the Admiral joins me. I know this is a thing. She's usually tired on the weekends, and she'll join me at some point, I'm sure. But hey, Matt, how's it going? And now it's snowing again. Like, seriously, what the actual F? Here, let's see what the weather's like out here today. Yep, it's a snowing. Not like there's a lot on the ground or anything, but it's just kind of like, what the hell, Mother Nature? Get things right. So, guys, what do you want to talk about today? Of course, I don't have any particular agenda. I did make the thumbnail of this, the bridge of the refit. I don't know if you guys want to talk about the 10K release of the motion picture or whatever, but always good stuff to talk about with you guys. You always come through and really know what kind of conversations to have. So I'm looking forward about that. Let's not talk about time travel. That goes without saying. NZ Fade goes without saying. Yeah. But you just made me talk about time travel, so I wish I could travel back in time and fix that. But alas, no. Supercoop, snow sucks, just saying. Yeah, 1000% agree with you. I mean, sure, it has its place, it has its moments, but today, here, it's not its place or its moment. Mike says, same thing out here on the East Coast, but now switch to rain. Summer can't get here quick enough. Totally agree, Mike. Totally agree. And Sven is here. Says, hi, Captain. Hello, Sven. I can't find any content on the ships from Starfleet Orion Pirates game. All the ships are not even beta. Ooh, well, we should probably do some videos on them then, because the Starfleet command games are amazing. So are the ships. So but yeah, there are some good ships in that game for sure. So maybe we'll have to look at them at some point. It's 26 degrees Celsius here. Hey, George, F you, man. F you. Supercoops, the good place for snow globes. The end. Yeah, anywhere I don't have to shovel it is a good place. Man. I recently started playing again Star Wars The Force Unleashed. And I'm thinking of maybe streaming that game at some point. So, what is with this? The sun's out yet it's not. It's really bright. Hold on a second. Let me rectify the situation. There we go. Curtains away. Ahoy. Ahoy, matey. Actually, let's turn on the lights too. Let's just make it all daily official. Oh my god, seriously? Seriously. Really gotta change this light bulb. Oh my goodness. Come on. Of course, it's the one light bulb that... Here, we'll do it that way. Anyhow. Greetings, Stuart and everyone. I hope you're having a good day. Hope you are as well, Raj. Good to see you. You look like you were glowing, Stuart. Maybe I'm pregnant. Who knows? Yep. Anyhow. It's fine. I need to change a light bulb, but... Captain, do you like the new Stargazer? Yes, we've done quite a few videos on it, on the corridors, the bridge, the ship itself. I do like the new Stargazer. Yes, it is a fine design. I'd like to see more of it. So, yeah. 92 degrees in sunny southwestern Arizona today. I hate you. I hate you so much. Just kidding, Bryce. We got a pathetic pug and a tired captain up in the ready. Or no, this is not the ready room. The ready room is next door. This is the library. So, what do you guys want to talk about today? Oh, Matt Boardman just chimed in. Let's see what he has to say. Did you see the cool fly-through of the sets that Dave Blast posted on Facebook? I did not, no. Raj says, oh yes, more details on the Stargazer would be great. We'll get them in time, don't you worry. Donnie is here. Hello, Captain, and all, and happy Oscar Sunday. Hope everyone is well this afternoon or this evening in your case. Well, it's not evening here right now. It's afternoon. It is, well... I guess it's just on the verge of being the evening. It's 5 p.m. here, so thank you, Matt, for sending the link. Bryce says, that's okay when it's 120 degrees Fahrenheit here. In a few months, I will wish I was in Canada. No, you won't. It gets just as hot here. It gets hot, and not only hot, but it gets humid, and that's even worse. So summers are brutal here as well as winters. So it is what it is. A lot of times it'll be hotter here than it is where you are. I promise you. Do you still like the new ship from the Stargate Resurgence video game as more photos released recently? I haven't seen those photos yet, Dan. Haven't been on top of things, really. Dan says it's 10 p.m. in the UK, so hopefully everything is well in the UK there. Donnie has a picture of a Power Ranger for his... avatar picture there. Dan Ben has been quite warm with bright sun this week. Yeah, it was beautiful for the past like 2 weeks here, on and off. It was some really warm days and then some cooler days, but no snow. All the snow had melted and it's back today now. So, damn snow. Damn snow. Ozzy is here. Hello, Ozzy. Well, guys, I don't even have any visual aids. I didn't bring any of my Diamond Select ships or anything to talk about today, but that's okay. I'm sure we'll figure something out. If not, I'll just call it a short live and be done. So if you guys have anything you'd like to talk about, please, by all means, let me know, and we will discuss whatever. More than that, my avatar is in solidarity with Ukraine as well. Yes, it is. I see this. Very good. Devo says, Trek Culture just did, should we see a TV show of the lost era of Trek? What do you think? If yes, then when should it be set? It should be set around the time of the Enterprise C incident. And yes, we absolutely should be seeing that. Problem is, it's uncharted territory, which means once they put it on screen, that becomes canon. And if they mess it up, they've messed it up, and that's going to be a bit of a shame. So, Bryce says, "Oh yeah, we have a dry heat. I lived in Florida for a while with heat plus humidity, and the air is so wet and hot that the shade does nothing." Yep, that's like southwestern Ontario. Absolutely. We have the lake effect. We have a lot of mosquitoes. And yeah, the moisture in the air, the humidity is what kills it. It's like you go outside and it's like hitting a brick wall, literally. So, but we have central air and stuff, so it's not too bad. But hey. How do you like the new Picard Alternate Reality? The Confederation, I think it's cool. Very mirror universe-like. But Dan says, is the way the new time travel being dealt with annoying? Yes, absolutely. We've yesterday released a bunch of videos, Time Travel 101, where we talk about all the instances in Star Trek and how they are both breaking their rules and abiding by their rules, which is annoying. Hopefully it gets explained as to why they are playing it the way they're playing it, but somewhat doubt that. So if you haven't checked out those videos, I'd suggest doing so. Matt says, if we had a series based on the Lost Era, would you want an ambassador class to be the hero ship? Absolutely. You know, Matt, that I'm a huge fan of the ambassador class design. And yeah, I would love to see one as the hero ship. Not necessary, of course, but it would be welcome, in my opinion, anyway. The ambassador class is a beautiful design, either Probert's or Sternbach's. I prefer Sternbach's version, honestly, but hey. Sean says, Star Trek has a habit of reproducing real-world events, and Picard already dealt with the refugee crisis. Do you think they should tackle the Ukraine thing? No, I don't. They won't be able to because it's already been filmed. Seasons 2 and 3 are done for filming, so I'm sure they could probably do it in Strange New Worlds, and I think that'd be fine. They've always had a history of doing that since like the 60s, so yes, I think it's something that should be done. At some point, they just can't do it for Picard right now, so. Have you seen the Halo TV show yet? Thoughts? Haven't watched it yet. Have not watched it yet. Matt said, also, you want to be the Probert or the Sternbach design. I already answered that, Matt. I'm behind in the chat a little bit, though, so you probably asked it before I answered it. Donnie says, speaking of Star Trek in general, I'm the chain where Chris Siddall is recreating the full conductor score at Recreational Planet Roseman's main theme of the voyage home. A fitting way to continue the countdown to First Contact Day and the motion picture's 4K Director's Edition. Super Coops, Lost Era of Trek would be awesome. Just don't let Kurtzman near it. Yeah. Sean says, when you see real world building in Toronto and Vancouver in TV shows, does it bring you out of the episode? Yes and no. It's just cool to be like, I can go there. I can be right in front of, like, exactly where they're standing. So yes, it absolutely does. In other ways it doesn't, though. It's like, you know, they're using what's available. Not everybody in the world knows what those buildings are, so it's good for somebody. It does take me out of it a little bit, though. So. Oh, and thank you, Cap, for the compliment on my current avatar. No problem. No problemo. Ozzy. Haven't watched it yet. Dan says, yeah, I agree with you on the time shielding on ships like Relativity. Yeah, temporal shields are very important in their jobs. So of course they'd be shielded from any changes. Donnie Pearson, I have been to Vancouver, yet Toronto is on my bucket list, as it is as is the rest of Canada, including the heart of it, Ottawa. Ottawa's a nice city. Toronto is also great, and if you go to Toronto, you'll be near me, so we can maybe meet up. That'd be awesome. Ozzy, long live the pug. Matt Boardman, I prefer Sternbach's version 2. It's one of my favorites. I know, Matt. I know. Sean O'Sullivan, if they make an Enterprise B series, needs to air it on Tuesdays. Enterprise B. Yeah. Bryce, I'd like to know how... I like how we also got a Canon TOS Stargazer. Radiant class. It would be nice if the shows up in Strange New Worlds, especially... or except it doesn't look like it fits in with the other pre-TOS disco ships. It doesn't. Bill Krause, who designed that ship, loves TOS. He makes it feel and look TOS. The Discovery team and the Strange New World team, as a result, have their own aesthetic, and yeah, it wouldn't fit. I mean, it would fit fine to see the Radiant class, and I think Bill did a fantastic job on that. I love all of his takes on TOS designs, so I would like to see it as well in Strange New Worlds. Do I think we will? I don't. I don't think we will. But there's a distinct possibility, you know, season 3 or 4, once, you know, they get the ball rolling and people are really enjoying it, that they might do something like that. So I just don't think we're going to see it in season 1 or 2. William May, if they do a Lost Era Star Trek, it should be between 2293 and early 2263. There's really good stories to be told. I agree. Corbin says... No. Star Trek used to approach politics from a critical distance, and now they're just inserting themselves into it recklessly. Yeah, that's the other thing. Subtlety, and subtlety enough to get it by the censors, yet obvious enough to have it resonate with people. And yeah, now it's just literally like, boom, here you go. This is what we're talking about. We don't have censors to really worry about anymore because we're doing this on a streaming service. So yeah, I kind of agree there, Corbin. Matt says... that's jinxing the show right from the get-go. Nothing would get delivered on time. Ukraine invasion could be done as Bajor being invaded by Cardassians. Again, an aging Gul Merrick trying to prove he still has power. Dan Ben, are there any other Star Trek Online ships you would like in canon one day? Any of them. Any of them are great. Star Trek Online ships have a good look to them. I would be happy if any of them get canonized on screen. I think it'd be cool. So I don't have anyone in particular. Well, that's not true. The Chimera class would be awesome because I do really like that design. But yeah, other than that, nothing really springs to mind. So Matt Boardman, yeah, I think we need to get a little bit more allegorical with the storytelling in Trek again. That was one thing that Trek always did so well. Now it's a bit on the nose. Let them have ears here sort of approach. Antoine says, if the Oberth class detaches like the Enterprise, wonder what that would look like. It wouldn't, not for the size of it. It's not. There are perfect separation points for that ship if they wanted to do it, but it's not necessary for the size of the ship for sure. Sven says, maybe Girardi becomes the new Borg Queen. Maybe. Dan says, not every Starfleet ship separates. Nope, they don't. Sean O'Sullivan, not sure of the rules, but could the team just lift Star Trek Axanar and make a 6-parter? Would love to see it. They wouldn't have to lift anything. The Axanar story's been told in FASA and, you know, alluded to in TOS. So they wouldn't have to lift anything. I would like to see Axanar canonized. To clarify, in Strange New Worlds, and then that might take the bad taste that Axanar seems to have for a lot of people, take the bad taste out of their mouth. So that's a thing that could happen. I could see them possibly doing it, but I can also see them totally steer clear of it as well. Now she's dreaming and snoring again. Donnie says, oh yes, I understand that Amazon did complete its acquisition of MGM. Cue lion roar. Byron USA, in this week's episode of Picard, it didn't make sense that they had to leave the ship to stay warm because there was no power, but the cloaking device was working. It does make sense, though. It didn't make sense to me at first either, Brian or Byron, but it was explained that it's a Confederation ship. They would prioritize weapons and that kind of thing over comfort and even medical stuff. That's why they didn't have a battery backup for the medical bed. So, no, it absolutely makes sense that the Confederation would prioritize those kind of systems. Plus, we also heard later in the episode that the ship was switching between systems to fix them. So it was taking some down to repair them. So it was in a repair mode and just shutting stuff down to repair it and then bringing it back up at bad times. So, Matt Boardman says, unfortunately, Axanar is planet forbidden with CBS due to its past lawsuit. Oh, they can't. CBS can't even touch it. Oh my God, that sucks. I mean, could CBS make Axanar? Do they default own the rights? I think they would, but Raj, is there any story arcs from Steele you would like to see in Star Trek series? Not really. I haven't really paid attention to a lot of the story arcs there, but no, that would involve bringing certain characters back and canonizing those kind of features for them, which in some cases would be good. But I don't. I think it should be separate and apart and have an STO continuity and then the actual on-screen continuity as something different. Mark Ward recently watched The Center Seat on IMDb TV. It's amazing. I'm amazed any Star Trek ever got made, but glad it did. Yeah, it's had a definite difficult production life, but it's all for the best. Antoine says, I would compare more the Axanar War to the Ukrainian War because the Klingons shared genetics with the Axanarians, like how the Ukrainians have Russian blood. Yeah. Matt Boardman. Oh yes, for sure they are the right holders to that. Like Stuart said, it would be great to see them tap into that fastest story. Hell yeah. NZ Fade, does every starship have a mini morgue in it for dead bodies? Yes. That would be just off of the sick bay, you would assume. And yeah, hopefully not too many slots. But Dan Ben, will you watch the new Babylon 5 reboot when it's made? Yes. Olivia Julia says Stuart. Yes, that's my name. Thank you. The Doctor. Meh, Axanar. I'm no longer interested in the story. In my head, they told us the story enough in the prelude reel, and I'm doubting hard we'll hear any more, or we'll see any more. Yeah, either way is fine with me as well. But Pagan2917, good to see you, my friend. Haven't talked to you in a while. You haven't sent me a video, man. I miss you, man. Anyway, he throws in 18 pounds. Awesome. Thank you so much. Just wanted to say hi. Almost 2 years since we met in Birmingham. And yes, I know it's Matt Toms. Good to see you, Matt. Thank you very much for the super chat. Hope you're doing well, but as your captain, I'm demanding an update on your away mission. So I wanna see one soon. It's an order, sir. Olivia Juliet says, "Oh my God, I can't believe that I'm listening to the Captain Foley." Right? William May, we wouldn't have Star Trek if it wasn't for Lucille Ball. Yep, true story. Sven says, hope the Enterprise becomes in time to look more like the original 1701 from the original series. You and everybody else. They can definitely do it. Even if they get the looks right, though, unfortunately, they've sized it up. It's like an extra 200 meters or feet. It's bigger. It's bigger, substantially bigger. So there's no way to love or fall in line with what we see in TOS size-wise. Visually, yes. And everybody's like, just ignore the size. Well, you can't ignore the size. They've established the size. And that's one thing that can't be retconned or refitted away, unfortunately, is the size. Unless the ship gets hit by a shrink ray. But that's just stupid. Jank throws in $10. Appreciate your openness to new Trek. Like it or not, you guys are fair and give it a fair shot. Absolutely, Jank. It's Star Trek. I love all things Star Trek, but thank you, Jank. Do we like it all? No. Do we hate it all? Absolutely not. As we've always said, there's good and bad in all Trek, even the TOS, even TNG. Sean says 50 Shades of Grey started out as a Twilight fan fiction and made billions. I think we are writing the wrong kind of fan fiction if that's what gets made. Amen. Dan says, I hope Peacock will make the new Battlestar Galactica whatever it's supposed to be. Yeah, it's such an odd thing to reboot that yet again, you know, so. Donnie says, Monster Instinct. Monster Extinct. Oh, yeah. Raj, what do you think about the Mass Effect series and that will be on Amazon Prime? I think that's great. Looking forward to seeing it. Please bring a lot more of this stuff to the screen. Just don't fuck it up too bad. Yeah, Donnie, I figured it out. Donnie says, sorry for the Power Rangers speak. No need to be a fan of the Hasbro-owned franchise to know that. Sean says, would love to see a Dominion Wars miniseries on a Defiant class or maybe a group of 3 Defiants. Nah. NZ Fade, they got Battlestar Galactica right with the last series. Adama was amazing. They don't need a reboot. Says Star Trek, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Yeah. Sean O'Sullivan, Lost in Space on Netflix got canceled again a while back. What are your thoughts on why that one never reboots well? My thoughts are it has been rebooted well twice, and it was fantastic each time. And it got a good closure on Netflix. They knew they were having one season left. They finished it out. Netflix, Lost in Space on Netflix is fantastically well written and beautiful and looks beautiful. I would suggest watching it if you haven't. That being said, the Lost in Space movie is one of my guilty pleasure movies. A lot of people really shit all over that movie. I love it. It's such a fun movie. And you got Heather Graham, you got Mimi Rogers. It's like, wow, there's so much good about that. And the soundtrack's fantastic. It is a favorite of mine. I really enjoyed it. And they even paid homage to the original Jupiter one with the launch vehicle. And then it breaks away and the new one comes out. Perfect. That's how you do those things. They did it right. Why it never catches on, I don't know. I don't know. I think the Netflix series did a good job, though, of making it 3 seasons, because how much more can these poor people endure? The fact that they survived all that they did is beyond belief. So, I mean, you can't keep making new seasons out of it. I'm kind of glad it got stopped where it was, honestly. Plus, all the kids are growing up. But, yeah, I could definitely have stood to see more of it. I really enjoyed it. Fleet Paw throws in $2. Hey, Foley. What's at the store? LOL. Or was at the store? LOL. So you're live. Sorry, Fleet Paw. Hit like, guys. We have 56 people watching, 40 likes. Let's try to get those likes up if we can. Donnie says, over a decade since my love for everything Star Trek got restored after seeing the 2009 movie Reboot that won an Oscar. Season 3 of Next Gen was my initial introduction. Byron USA, why do you think they decided to make the changes to the design of the Enterprise? Did they not think the fans would notice that is stupid? We've talked about this before. It's the new producers being like, we want to piss all over it. This is ours. Look what we did. We created Star Trek. Yeah, that old Star Trek. Nah. You're going to forget that. This is the new TOS Enterprise. Look at it. And that being said, John Eves, who designed it with straight struts and a white hull color. And that was signed off on by everybody. It got sent to the visual effects department, and the visual effects department said, we're going to change that. We're going to make it look silver. We're going to put the angled struts on it, and yep, that's what we're going to go with instead. So when John Eves saw it on screen, it wasn't the design that got approved. That would be infuriating to me. It is infuriating to me, and I didn't design the fucking thing. It should have straight struts. It's just that simple. But the angled struts look so good. Yeah, I know they do. That's not the point. It's a period piece. The ship should look how it looks. It shouldn't look more advanced than it should look. It, I don't even know what to say. It's the stupid producer mentality of, this is ours, we designed this. Look what we did. Look what we did. Like, yeah, shut up. Ooh, Samuel's here. Hey, man, how you doing? Just finished dinner. Nim left. Went well. Good to hear. We filmed a bonus world first for a fan film. Ooh, the first Star Trek fan film sex scene? I don't know. We'll find out, I guess. NZ Fade. I enjoyed the Netflix Lost in Space. They cut it too short. They did, yes. It could have gone like another 1 or 2 seasons. But like I said, it's kind of a neat little package of 3 seasons. It's not too much. It's not too overwhelming for somebody to watch. And I think they did a really good job with it. Dan says, what technically does reboot mean in that different to remake or continuation? I don't know what's going on with the Battlestar Galactica, if it's more of a continuation or whatever, but a reboot is generally taking the original source material, having all the same names, all the same characters, all the same universe or world or whatever, and just putting a new coat of paint on it and making it jazzed up for like a modern audience. That's technically what a reboot is. Continuation's a little bit different for sure, which I think the Battlestar Galactica thing might be. It might also be like not so much a continuation, but more like other stuff that was going on at the time, perhaps. So I don't know how they're going to handle it, honestly. Antoine NZ Fade, remember that episode where cadets had a defiant class behind enemy lines and Nog finds them by accident on a DS9 episode? Ah, yes, Red Squad. Let's see. Reboot is a modern word for remake. Yes. Sean says, Lost in Space movie is great. All 3 women are great for a 13-year-old boy to enjoy. But the best part was the 98 techno theme tune. Hell yeah. Absolutely. First one, or last one to kill a bad guy buys the beer. BSG series was fantastic. No reboot required. Thanks. It's like that Steven Spielberg movie, Batteries Not Included. Should just make a movie that says, reboot not required. Thanks. Fleet Paw, Lost in Space was a great movie. It gets undeserved hate. Yes, it does. Livy Julius, is the new season out on Netflix? New season of what? If Lost in Space, it's been out for a long time. I've already watched it. It was out months and months ago. Reboots can be done well, but I know some folks don't like to hear that sometimes. No, I'm all down for a good reboot. Absolutely. But Sean O'Sullivan just finished the Mighty Ducks show. Watchable, just barely. Bad copy of Cobra Kai. I'm not going to watch the Mad Ducks or the Mighty Ducks show. I love Cobra Kai, the Mighty Ducks, Game Changers equally, to be honest. Meh. Never watched the movie, so. Super Coops would like to see an original John Hughes design. See the original John Hughes design. Oh, we've shown it before on the one that got signed off on with the straight struts. Yeah, we've shown it. It had the straight struts, but they were a little bit thicker, like bigger from the side, and they had the slit in them. And the slit was the natural place where, when it got the upgrade, they would just take the last part from where the slit is back off, and you'd have the right size struts. It looked great. We have videos talking about it where we show the one that was approved. So, Dan Ben, yeah, I wasn't sure the new Battlestar Galactica was going to be a reboot, remake, or continuation. I'm not sure, honestly, Dan. Donnie says, I must confess the score by John Debney is what I love best about Game Changers. Haven't heard it, so. Fleet Paw, if I were Eves, I'd have been hot. Would have pulled my okay from the design and left them without an enterprise, but I'm petty like that. Well, after that point, you can't, though. Once it's been signed off on, they own it, and he couldn't have sued them or anything. Plus, he wants to stay in Star Trek. Like, So it's a fine line there. Sven says it would be great to have Picard spin-off Star Trek Adventures of Stargazer. Might get that. Who knows? Sean O'Sullivan's Star Trek fan film sex scene was on the IT crowd. Not a band account, $5. How do I get my fellow Trekkie friends to realize that criticism of new Trek comes from a place of love for a series, not hate? I want Trek to be successful. That's a good question. Need to whittle down those hate channels that anything new is bad, regardless. There's no good in it at all. It's all bad. It's like, no, that's not how that works, guys. And they give everybody else who says, I didn't really like this episode or this season of Discovery, it gives them all a bad name, because they might have enjoyed Discovery up to a point, or enjoyed a lot of aspects of Discovery, but as soon as you say something negative, it's like, oh my God, you don't even like the new stuff. What's wrong with you? It's all good. It's like, relax there. We're not saying that, these hate channels give everybody a bad name. Devo77X, actually, why they enlarged the Enterprise so it wouldn't look like a shrimp next to Discovery. Yes, but that's still a stupid idea. Discovery shouldn't have been that big. Any ship in that era shouldn't have been that big. A reboot not required. Thanks, that's brilliant. A Saucy Puppet Show. Considering that Netflix rarely renews shows past the third season, I'm glad they were able to give Lost in Space a proper series finale. Yes, I was as well. Antoine says Star Trek should hold a fan film contest every year. They should. Absolutely, they should. Ozzy, in the movie Lost in Space, you had Joey from Friends pilot the Jupiter 2. Yes, you did. Samuel says, which Trek ship would you do a visual reboot of? Any ship for a reboot Trek show of any era, not Connie or refit. That would be the Enterprise D. I would love to see how the Galaxy class can be redone to look more modernized and sleeker, I guess. I know Probert wouldn't be happy, but I don't think he's rarely happy, or I think he's very rarely happy. Great guy. Like I said, he reminds me of my dad, but even the paint scheme I gave my Romulan Warbird for the Adversary set, I think it's a fantastic paint scheme. And asked him what he thought of it, and he's like, I was told if you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all. It's like, wow. And if you haven't seen my Romulan Warbird, I posted it on Twitter a few days ago, as well as Facebook. So, yeah. I mean, if enough people ask, I might go grab it from the other room to show, but I might just do that anyway now that I'm thinking about it. Matt Boardman, yes, I've been saying that for years. Lucas used to have a Star Wars fan film festival every year, and a winner was selected by George, or at least we were told that. Yeah. Jank, anyone remember when they tried to reboot Stargate with Universe? Oh, I haven't seen Universe yet, so I didn't think it was a reboot. Sean says, have you seen the DS9 upscales? You can find them unofficial sources online. Very enjoyable, and most of the way they are true to the master. I've seen some of them, yeah. Raj says that was not a reboot, it was a sequel of sorts. Yes, that's what I thought Universe was. Fleet Paw, I think this is the Disco Prize episode that shows Eve's original design. That could be the episode, I'm not sure, I'd have to go back and take a look. We did quite a few of them on that, the remake of that ship. Bryce says, ugh, sorry, my phone, was having issues. Yes, I know, continuing from the other day, sorry to hear that. Matt says, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a remaster of DS9 at some point in the future with the success of the current series. No, and I've been saying that for years. Voyager and DS9 will get remastered at some point. It's a foregone conclusion. They said that TOS wouldn't be remastered back in the day because it would be too expensive. They went and did that. Then they did the TNG, which, it's a classic, it needs to be done for sure. Sales weren't what they needed, so they're like, oh, it's too expensive, we can't do the other shows. Eventually they'll do the other shows. It'll all be remastered at some point. I've been saying that for years. I have no doubt in my mind it's going to be remastered at some point. How soon? Don't know, but it will be done. Fleetpot could have been this one as well. He's sharing some of the links to the concept or the talk about the new Discovery Enterprise there. Kirk Novak, I always wanted the adventure of Cadet Nog's spin-off. His arc on DS9 was so surprising yet so fantastic. Yeah. Not a bad account, $2. I enjoyed Discovery until the Mirror Lorca reveal. I didn't mind the Mirror Lorca reveal. I just wish we would have seen Prime Lorca, and we still can. Prime Lorca might make an appearance in Strange New Worlds. If he doesn't, I'll be pissed. Actually, it'd be great if he did survive somehow and he's still out there. I want to see him. I liked Lorca. Lorca was an awesome captain, even though he was a Mirror Universe evil captain. He was very much a military, straight up by the rules captain, especially for that era of Starfleet, and I had no problem with that. I thought he was a fantastic captain. So, I know some people out there disagree with me, including Samuel. Bryce says, my phone is having issues and I was gone, but I am back. What did I miss? Nothing. Nothing at all. Dan says, will you watch all live-action Star Wars shows on Disney Plus in the future? Yes, it's Star Wars. I'm going to watch it all. I don't really care what it is. I'm going to watch it all, good or bad, and judge it as I experience it. Same with Star Trek. Same with a lot of franchises. I'll watch everything that's involved with them just because it's got that name on it. Now, I know that's goes against the fandom menace. Don't give them money. You keep giving them money and da. Don't reward their badness. It's like, no, but it's still the franchise. They're right, though. The name of the franchise is what draws people in. That's their mentality. That's why they remake it. But I'll still watch it. So regardless, I understand that, yes, we're kind of supporting them in doing the shit that they do, but we also have a voice now. We complain about it. We discuss how things can get better, and guess what? Lo and behold, Star Trek Discovery got better. They listened to the fans. They made changes. It's in our power now to do that. So let's do it. Let's steer them in the right direction. Let them know vocally what we don't like, instead of boycotting something and having them go, well, this franchise isn't financially viable. Let's kill it. And then we get no new Trek or no new Star Wars for God knows how many decades. Not acceptable. Not acceptable. We got to show them that there are fans, there's interest, but we have a voice, we have a say on what we want. And just boycotting it outright is, well, quite frankly, it's fucking stupid. So don't do that. Sean O'Sullivan. I hope so. PlayStation or Paramount Plus needs to find a reason for people to subscribe. Releasing an HD remaster a week will keep people subscribed. Cost about $70K an episode for TNG. Compare that to $5 to $6 million for New Trek. I just gotta close this a bit more. There we go. NZ Fade. The boy in Netflix Lost in Space reminded me of a young Anakin turning into a tall teenager. All we needed was an episode with him on the high ground. Matt Boardman. Ha, yes, Stuart. Andy is a great guy, but a tough guy to please and make happy. Yeah. Raj, I would like to seek Jamaharan. Why can I never say that? Anyway, I would like a sleek Galaxy Class 2 with swept back nacelles or straight and raised. I'd like to see how somebody would redesign it. Mechanics 1228. Do you feel like the Alpha Quadrant is maxed out as far as storytelling goes? Where would you like to take the Star Trek show at this point? Post Voyager would be nice. I want a show where they find a way to explore different galaxies, Iconian gates. I really don't care. I thought Discovery was heading that way with going outside the galactic barrier and getting stuck out there, maybe having to travel, or maybe that the 10C were from another galaxy. I was really hoping for something like that. I think that's what's necessary. Space is huge, though, so I don't think the Alpha Quadrant's been played out at all. There's still going to be areas that are not in our territory that somehow we get, limited access to via a treaty where we're kind of walking on thin ice, but we're still doing our exploration thing and just got to be mindful of the politics. That'd be kind of interesting as well. So yeah, the Alpha Quadrant's definitely not played out at all, but I would like to see something a little bit more extra-galactic. Jedi Outcast was 20 yesterday. Really wish that to bring Katarn into canon shows. Dan Ben, Stargate Universe is a spin-off show or a continuation. Pagan is Princess snoring again. Well, she is a princess, and yes, she was snoring. She's kind of stopped now. But, yeah. Fleetpaw, I am of the opinion that Probert is old school, like Roddenberry, and that he has a specific set of rules he follows when it comes to ship designs. That's okay, but things change. Yep, totally agree with you on that, Fleetpaw. Bryce says, I still like some aspect of Probert's concept art for the D with the shorter nacelles and the sleeker look. She wants to make her voice heard, that she's still there. She heard you, Pagan. Or Tom. Tom, sorry. Yeah. Samuel says, Stargate Universe was not a reboot. That's a silly comment for someone who didn't watch it. Ooh, wow. Shots fired. Shots fired. I still haven't seen it yet. I need to watch that one. That's one I haven't seen. Bryce says, I'm actually going to be getting a new phone soon. Something with a stylus. Ooh, fancy. VersaLife. The dog looked like it just watched Picard. Wow. Shannon Sullivan. I would love to see more adventures of Ensign Kim, the longest ensign in Starfleet. Raj. Also, maybe make minor changes to the Sovereign class. What would like to see with the neck, nacelles raised more a bit, and add a blue glow with the gold deflector dish. Yeah, the Sovereign looks great from many angles. The top, some three-quarter shots, the bottom. The bottom's got some issues for me, but that's neither here nor there. The side, though, I'm not a fan of the profile of it. I would like to do some minor redesigns on it and see what we got going on. Speaking of, the Enterprise E that I had here, my Diamond Select one, found out, somebody messaged me after the live that the one I have was one of the very first ones they made with a few wrong paint applications. It also did not have glowing blue nacelles. So they continued to make that same one, but they changed the paint applications a bit, and they also added the glowing nacelles. So I got to find myself a new Diamond Select Enterprise E with glowing nacelles. So it's good to know I got one of the first ones. So that's kind of rare and unique in and of itself, but still, I want my glowing nacelles, man. Sven says, cheers. Cheers, my friend. Super Coops. Seems to me that a lot of new Trek showrunners don't understand that for us, the hero ships are characters too. Yeah, they absolutely are. The Enterprise is my favorite character in TOS. Absolutely, hands down. Followed very closely by Kirk. I love the Enterprise. It should be treated like the lady that she is, and she should be cast well in a reboot. That was not done in the JJ reboot. They cast a hideous garbage scow in the place of a beautiful, sleek ship in that movie. So, NZ Fade. Lorca made Discovery feel like Battlestar Galactica, and it worked. Now we have safe privacy spaces on the bridge, and everyone cries. Wow. Adam Wozniak. Really? I would prefer if they did not mention anything Discovery and Strange New Worlds. I would too. I absolutely would hope that, but it's fairly firmly planted in the Discovery universe, the Discoverse. So it's obviously going to reference things. You're probably going to see Michelle Yeoh come back as Empress Giorgio or as Section 31 Giorgio. Maybe Laurel, maybe Ash Tyler. I would love to see Lorca back. Like there's a lot of good things you could do with that. They're not going to just not discuss Discovery. It's in the Discoveryverse. It's visually Discoveryverse canon. So, Fleetpaw, $2. Sharing links is my job, you know. LOL. Well, it's part of it, but thank you, Fleetpaw. Antoine, Geordi gets a Galaxy class sometime in the future. A scene in an episode of Voyager. That would be a great series. That would be a fantastic series. Raj, the Orville season 3 is in 3 months. It is. General Grievous, some may say Probert is too strict, but in my opinion, the producers for Disco went too extreme in not respecting era-appropriate design rules. Yep, I agree with both those things. But there's a point of being too strict to the point where you're just an old curmudgeon and realizing that things change. Some designs can be altered. So I don't know where I stand on that with him, so... Fleetpaw, the ships themselves are very much characters. I agree wholeheartedly. Matt says, Princess has clearly had a hard day being a pug. Well, her name is Precious, not Princess, but she is certainly a princess. Princess Precious, right? Yeah, she's had a hard day of sitting on the couch with me and Sylvia watching TV. It's been rough, don't you know? Fleetpaw, hello there, General Grievous. I agree with you there. Gorgonzola 86. Long live and prosper, Captain, and my best regards to the Admiral. Well, thank you very much. I'll pass those along to her. Not a band account throws in $5, so thank you so much. Not a band account. Lorca was an excellent captain. He was like the captain of the Exeter. Accomplished, respected, and flawed. If he had to go, should have been a Kirk speech. Should have been by a Kirk speech, yes. I just want to meet Prime Lorca. And you got to keep in mind, too, that Mirror Lorca wasn't so different from Prime Lorca that everyone noticed there was a difference. So that means Prime Lorca is also a strict, kind of by the rules captain, very kind of hard on his crew. But I mean, Admiral Cornwall noticed a little bit of a difference in him. You've changed since the incident, or whatever she had said. So, but she was close to him as well. She was sleeping with him. So they were similar enough in their belief systems that the mere evil Lorca could pull off, you know, and not be immediately outed. So I want to see Prime Lorca. Mark Lawrence throws in $5. Funny thing is that there aren't many ways to give them money. Not much current Gen Trek merch available. Yes, it's just the streaming services you're paying for, if you're even getting them that way. So, yeah, you can still enjoy it and not necessarily put money in their pockets. I'm not advocating doing anything illegal there, but there are ways. Raj says, since they made the Ross class canon, which is a variant of the Galaxy class, maybe the USS Challenger could be that. Ooh, Challenger being a Ross class. That's Geordie's Galaxy class, in case people didn't know. Sure. Paul N. So, have you put money aside for the Wrath of Khan black uniform from Star Trek Picard? I have not. I have no faith that that'll be made well. It'd be like the Monster Maroons. It'll be the same kind of construction, so it'll be super expensive. I trying to put money aside for the Wand Company tricorder when it comes out, but money's been a little tight, and so, you know, I might not have. Hope it doesn't come out anytime soon, honestly, because I need to save up a little bit more. Gorgonzola 86. In Star Trek Adventures, this is quite how they treat the ships as a character. Sean O'Sullivan, there's a Lower Deck style show for Star Wars that had about 20 episodes made by the Robot Chicken Boys. Over 10 years later, they never released or even linked. Like 1313 got canceled by Disney. Yeah, that's Star Wars. And all the shows were finished too. They were all CG, computer animated, and they're funny. I've seen some clips from them. What was it called though? Yeah, I would love to see those. I don't know why those haven't been released. Dan Ben, I think you could explore more Gamma Quadrant. Oh, for sure, definitely. JB, I was so disappointed in this season finale of Discovery that I was planning on not actually watching season 5, but getting reviews from you guys. Just getting reviews from you guys. But what you said just convinced me to keep watching. Oh, JB, that's awesome. I love the open-mindedness of it. And you can't properly critique something or complain about it if you haven't watched it and understand it and know it. So people that just complain, oh, New Trek's awful. Oh yeah, really? What did you like? What did you not like about this latest episode? I haven't watched since season 2. Oh well, then you have no right to talk because you're an idiot. You're a misinformed, or you're a non-informed, ignorant asshole. Okay, gotcha. So your opinion is irrelevant and doesn't matter to me at all. Great, good. If you can tell me with constructive criticism what you did not like about the latest episode, or what you didn't enjoy, what could have been better, then I'm going to listen to you and go, oh, you're absolutely right there. I kind of agree with you on that one. This other point, though, not so much. And here's my reasons. So there's a difference between not liking something and just being a complete and utter asshole. But I'm glad you're going to watch, JB. That is awesome. I'm glad even one person, just changing one person's mind, or having my message kind of hit one person is important. So, not a band account. You'd look sexy as hell in a Rathacon Confederation uniform. Well, thank you. I'm sure I would. LOL, big snore, yes. Puggins, we see and hear you. Puggy, yeah, you're making all the noise. Dan Band, Star Wars Detours. That's it, thank you. Is unreleased, yes. Raj, yeah, yes, it is time they showed a series of the Federation exploring other galaxies. Sean O'Sullivan, I still have no idea what disconnecting the nacelles does. It's not like you detach them until you need the warp. They're still there. I'm not going to get into all that again. There's multiple reasons for it, and it's future tech, so they needed to do something that looked more advanced. That's one way to do it. That's all I'm going to say. Jank says, I was joking about Stargate Universe. I said reboot because of how drastically different the tone and quality was. Yeah. Like I said, I haven't seen it, so I couldn't really speak on it, but I hope to see it soon. There you go. A Saucy Puppet Show says, Universe gets a lot of hate for the direction it took, but I really enjoyed it, and it was really bummed when it got canceled when it did. Paul N. says, Stargate Universe was a show that Stargate fans did not ask for. A fun family show doesn't start off with two lieutenants having sex in a mop closet. Sounds like my kind of show. Fun will now commence. Greetings, Captain Foley. It would be great to see a Star Trek show with more exploration. Yes. Strange New Worlds, that's what they're promising. Gorgonzola says the Stavron class is too fast to look at it from just one angle. Yeah. JB, I got the first contact version of the Diamond Select Enterprise E. I think that version is my favorite out of what we have seen on screen. Yeah, that's the one that Samuel has. I went for the other one. But yeah, I want to get the first contact one as well. So, Sean O'Sullivan, I think Sovereign was deliberately more stretched out for widescreen. Like when 3D films came out and threw crap at the screen, it was a novelty, so they felt they needed to stretch things. Disagree with that, absolutely. I think they stretched it to the size it is so it would be a little bit bigger lengthwise than the Enterprise E or the Enterprise D, because volumetrically it's not. The Enterprise D has actually got more volume and is a bigger ship overall, especially width-wise. But on a size chart where you see the progression of ships going up in size as they should, the Enterprise D is just a little bit bigger than the Enterprise D, and I think that's why they made it the size they did. They could make a short series called Star Trek Universe where the crew jumps from one reality to the next to get home, but that sounds very similar to Voyager, or they travel to another galaxy. Be like Lost in Space meets Quantum Leap. Byron USA, Captain, I think Strange New Worlds has the most potential. Going back to the original Star Trek mission, the only problem is I don't trust Alex Kurtzman. Neither do I. I also don't trust the Discovery team and the Discoverse in general. Donnie Pearson says, I myself have the Nemesis version of Diamond Select's Enterprise E. Do your nacelles light up? Because if you did, you got one of the later ones, not the early one like I got. The Trek Reviewer. The other day I saw the upcoming 30th season of Power Rangers is going to be called Power Rangers Discovery, and the Red Ranger is going to be named Michael Burnham. They just find it funny that because season 30 of Star Trek was Star Trek Discovery. Gorgonzola, the Voyager is my favorite character in Voyager, and the Rubicon is my second favorite character in DS9. Dan Ben, I'm sure there mentioned something about Spock not having his sister, Michael Burnham. NZ Fade, if there's time cops, why hasn't anyone gotten arrested, the crew of Discovery, for changing the past and the future? Because it was one of the things that was meant to happen, I guess. And the time cops don't exist in the Discoverse. They're only in the prime timeline. George Mangrum, are you saying that the JJ Prize should be hauling garbage? No, I say it should be hauled away as garbage. John McHugh, well, Discovery is confidential now, though, right? Yes. Precious. You're snoring, Huggins. You gotta stop snoring. Sort out. The only one who referred to Voyager as the Voyager was Paris in the episode Parallax. No, quite a few people referred to it as the Voyager during the course of that series. Fleetpaw, I wouldn't say the JJ Prize was a garbage scow, or that it should be hauled away as garbage. It worked for what it was, but should have been done better. Yeah, like in the 2009 film, if the new Discovery Prize had been the Enterprise, that would have been fantastic. I would have loved it. I would have loved that movie so much more if the Enterprise looked good, and it didn't. So, Sean O'Sullivan, I love how Kit's Dolan, Drexler, Okuda work on Trek and Orville. Great to see no one is being difficult with legal exclusivity crap. Yes. Shannon Murphy, so the pug is a princess. Does that mean she's abdicating? I called dibs on the throne. Take the throne. It's right here. Come, Shannon, come sit. Join me for a live. Have more input than a snoring pug, I'm sure. Dan Ben, do we think we'll see the K7 on screen again? Maybe. I don't know. Probably not. Fleetpaw, so did Raj. Some needed additions to lengthen it a bit. The Darth Eddie, if there was an element of Enterprise you think would be a good callback to have in Picard or Strange New Worlds, what would you pick? Discovery has mentioned Archer several times already. To have in Picard? Element of Enterprise. No idea. No idea at all. Samuel says, would you rather serve as captain on the new or old Stargazer bridge, and why? Old bridge. I love the layout a lot better. I love that era. I love the displays on that. And I'm not going to be blinded by the floor or slip on the newly polished floor. They got carpets, don't you know, on the old one. And the bridge layout's just better. I prefer that era of ship to the new Stargazer, honestly. Hope that answered your question. Gorgonzola says, I thought that the Geordie USS Challenger series for a long time. I thought of that Challenger series for a long time. Would love the series to have some Reading Rainbow vibes, but I guess kids' educational stuff is reserved for Hollow Janeway nowadays. Adam Wozniak says, do you think they will make any changes to the Enterprise model used in Discovery for Strange New Worlds? Nope. Not right away, anyway. Maybe over the course of a couple of seasons, they might see small changes that eventually make it look way more like Kirk's ship near the end, but I'm somehow doubtful of that. Shannon Murphy, bring Prime Lorca back and kill up Burnham-off. Yep, I'd be down. General Grievous, I'm afraid Strange New World Spock is going to be insecure emo Spock, struggling in the shadow of Burnham and trying to find himself. I hope they don't go down that route. Raj says, the Sovereign class is a great design. I read that they made design fixes and additions on Star Trek Nemesis Enterprise E. Yeah, the Enterprise E is slightly different in each movie. Different heights for the nacelles and a few little tweaks here and there. John McHugh, Lower Deck should bring back Prime Lorca with him super flamboyant to make it a whole lot more fun here that nobody noticed when he was switched with Mirror. How about no? How about no to that one? Dan Ben, what do you think will happen to the captain in Season 3 Lower Decks? She was arrested for the destruction of the Packlet homeworld. Oh, it'll be rectified pretty quickly. I don't know what will happen to her, but that's something that's not going to last. Pagan 2917, 4 pounds 50. Oh my God, how could I have got that wrong? I'm so sorry, Precious. Yes, he called you Princess. I used to have a cat named Princess a long time ago, but it's okay. It's okay. Matt apologized, okay? So when he comes in and visit, you don't have to bite him. She doesn't care. The Doctor. Yeah, you want regular maroons, not that evil black version. I'd take both, honestly. I like the black version. General Grievous. The only good thing about Picard Universe being in the Confederate timeline is that... Shut up. Is that Disco is temporarily erased. Unfortunately, so are the other series until time is fixed. It's not how time travel works, but sure, we'll go with that because they said so. Samuel says you should pimp our time travel episodes and why people should watch the case studies. Samuel, I've been doing that. I did that the day before when I did a live. I did it yesterday when I did a live. I did it when I started this live. They've been talked about. Yes, go watch our time travel 101 playlist case studies of time travel. They've been proving most popular. There, I said it again. Sean O'Sullivan, not all shows have to be Federation. A Firefly-like series watching someone bouncing around the Badlands could be fun. Yeah, like Starship Aurora, the fan-created Aurora series, CGI. It's an amazing series, really well done. In the Star Trek universe, but not Starfleet. Yeah. NZ Fade, Robot Chick in Star Wars is fantastic, especially with the Emperor going up the escalator saying hi to all the stormtroopers. I think it was claymation. It's not claymation, they use toys, but that's just Robot Chicken style. Adam Wozniak, happy that you decided to your lives at this time. Was never able to catch them because of my time zone. Yeah, on the weekends I'd like to do them earlier in the day if I decide to do one so more people can see. So thank you for joining. Samuel Gill, just stopping and saying howdy to you. I pray you and your family are doing great. We are, Samuel, or Sam, and hope you are as well. Sean says, on props, isn't the current tricorder an off-the-shelf Samsung? Probably about $1,300 to get one. It is, but it's not the current tricorder. It is the Confederation tricorder, so it won't be the Prime Universe tricorder. I'm willing to bet. If it is, I'm going to be pissed off. But for a Confederation tricorder, it's fine. Hey, you need to stop snoring, okay? I'm going to have to move you in a minute. Let's see. Imagine that Robot Chicken would do the sequels. Gorgonzola says, I got myself some Star Trek merch recently. Posted the photo on a Facebook page. It is a 1701A and the Bird of Prey built from Lego compatible bricks. I love it. Maybe Star Trek is too utopic to sell stuff. No, they just are fucking shitty with merchandising, fortunately. Paul N. I stopped watching Disco by episode 4 of season 1, skipped season 2, and started again with 3. Well, then you missed some good shit. There's some really good Pike episodes in season 2, so you're missing out, my friend. Shannon Murphy. Okay, so what they need to do is restore TOS, TNG, DS9, Voyager, and the films from TMP to Nemesis, but erase the others. Nope, they don't need to do that at all. Dan Ben, who do you think Christopher Lloyd will play in The Mandalorian Season 3? I have no idea. I have no idea. Sean O'Sullivan, wonder if Seth never did Family Guy Star Trek the same way he did with Star. Wonder why Seth never did Star Trek the same way they did with Star Wars, because he didn't have the rights. He couldn't. He didn't have the permission. He had George Lucas's permission to do that. You think CBS is going to give him permission to use Star Trek? No, of course not. Joseph Barbado, that's why I can't stand Dumb Dick and the Fandom Menace. Oh, this sucks, blah, blah, I'm never watching. Yep. Holy shit, I must be really far behind in the chat. I'm sorry, guys, if I'm way far behind. I'm trying to catch up. General Grievous, $2, thank you. Where did Disco get the idea Terrans are vampires? Well, they're sensitive to light, don't you know? No idea. It made more sense when it was because of his accident. A huge explosion. He has to take these drops. Bright lights still affect him. That was fine. But all Terrans are genetically disposed. Yeah. No, they're not. Shut the fuck up. The Darth Eddie, do you think the leak of TNG style Klingon makeup for Season 2 of Stranger Worlds is a sign they're fixing the whole look and will finally explain it? It's a sign that they fixed the look because they're not stupid and they won't explain it at all. It'll never be mentioned. It's kind of what I'm expecting. Byron says, I don't like Discovery and I haven't watched it since season 2, but I would never tell anyone else what they should think about the art. About it. Art is subjective after all. Amen. Dan Ben, Star Wars Underworld is also a George Lucas show that was canceled. I think it was supposed to tie into a canceled video game 1313. Yes, it was. And 1313 looks so good. It's kind of like, it's a shame it never got released. It's very much like Secret of Vulcan Fury for Star Trek. If you haven't seen my video on Secret of Vulcan Fury, I'd say check that out. It's a captain's log. Fucking great promise for a Star Trek game that just got dropped. Sean O'Sullivan, idea for a TV show, Squid Game, but in the Star Trek universe. Alan Moraine count to 3 game. No. Mark Wally. What would be fun is if Picard doesn't fix the timeline by the end of the season, and all the other shows are set in an alternative time until he fixes it next season. No, fuck that. Please get back to the real universe, the real season. This season, I don't want to be fucking around with shit. To be fair, Star Trek was never a family show. Season 1 of SG-1 was R-rated with full nudity. Yep, it was. Gorgonzola, the detached nacelles might be the next step after the moving nacelles of the Intrepid class. Matt Boardman, is there a ship out there that hasn't had a model made that you would like to see them do? Who's them? You get models of pretty much anything, either 3D printed or through resin kits. So, I mean, I've got a Federation class Dreadnought resin kit model that I need to make. If you mean Eagle Moss, yeah, make the Franz Joseph ships, make the Ptolemy class, make the Saladin, make the Federation class. I realize it's not officially licensed, but people would buy the shit out of those. So just do it. Get CBS to say, yeah, it's fine. Like, General Grievous. Yeah, apparently they hate being in the light and have to turn down the brightness to be comfortable. Shannon Murphy says they say full nudity, but they don't show the bits. They show boobs in Stargate in one of the first ones. So it depends which version you're watching. They cut them out of one of the versions. NZ Faye, jumping to different realities reminds me of Quantum Leap. Yes. Dan Ben, first episode of SG-1 has a few different versions because the original one had full frontal nudity scene because the American TV channel sometime wanted it. Or Showtime wanted it. Yes, as you should. Full frontal nudity. Absolutely. Dan Ben, do you like the Star Trek warp effect where it stretches out the ship and then shoots across the screen? Yes, that's how warp works. General Grievous. Au contraire, mon capitaine. The original SG-1 pilot episode on Showtime, I believe, it was showed full frontal. Yes. Raj says, jumping to different universes reminds me of Sliders. Yes. General Grievous, they cut the bits out for the sci-fi and later on in the DVD releases. Yes, they did. Boo. Dan Van E is missing the captain shot at the end of Insurrection. Oh well. Donnie Pearson, 2 days since I did my video called Dawn Vlog, the reaction to the new trailer of Star Trek The Motion Picture. It's a search away. Well, go check out Donnie Pearson's video, guys. Paul N. Star Trek needs a spin-off. Some more time in that ERA and the exploration of the first decade of the Federation and a romp through the older tech. Shannon Murphy, the Imperial Throne is mine. Dan Ban, Sliders, different realities or alternative realities or alternate universe things. I don't know what Sliders was specifically, I don't remember. Paul N. Meanwhile, the Starfleet battles made an update with new Canon ships. Have they? No, they haven't. That's a licensing thing with Amarillo Design Bureau and stuff. Starfleet battles had the TOS ships, and FASA had the movie ships from Paramount. They were licensed by Paramount. The other one was by NBC or CBC, whoever owned it at the time. So yeah, that's why Starfleet battles had TOS ships, and FASA had the movie ships. Wake Roberts, oh geez, wouldn't it just be perfect if every episode of Stranger Worlds was just, I can't do it, Captain. Only Michael Burnham can solve this. Let's hope not. Sean says, I was under the impression you weren't a fan of wall-to-wall carpets. Then you're wrong, because there should be carpets, especially on the bridge, or especially on the hallways, I mean. But the floors are way too shiny in Strange New Worlds, Discovery, and now Picard. Way too shiny. Even if they're just not carpeted floors, but they're matte finish, would be amazing. But no, they're high gloss, which looks stupid. Shannon says, catch a sleepwalk, convicts him in a show trial and executes him by spacing him out of an airlock. Dan Ben, there's an episode of Stargate Atlantis where of the Earth ships have a reality drive and jumping to different realities. Sven Kampman says Team Drexler is the best team to become in line with original Star Trek design in all ways. I'd say your statement is close to being accurate while not being accurate. Do you think that Strange New Worlds will show us pre-occupation Bajor? No, probably. Well, maybe. I don't know. Don't really care. Let's see if I can skip ahead a little bit here. Try to catch up. That was an alternative universe version of the Daedalus. Can survive a vacuum due to his time as a Borg drone. Well, there you go. Paul N., I'm still hoping for a Star Trek K7 in the same style as DS9. You might see a K7 return in Strange New Worlds. Actually, that might be a good idea. So I think Dan asked that earlier if we would see it come back, and I never really considered Strange New Worlds, but yeah, possible. Do you think Freeman's replacement will be Jellicoe? No, I don't. Please, can they bring back TMP era D7 ships, not the silly disco ones? Well, the disco ones are actually pretty close to the original, well, the Katinga look anyway. So I wouldn't have a problem either way. Dan Ben, if I remember correctly, K7 may have been mentioned on a map in Discovery Season 1. I believe it was, yes. Sean says, are you following Captain Jellicoe Twitter account? Always makes me laugh. I am not. Shannon Murphy, are there any exhaust ports that lead directly to the main reactor? Okay, stop snoring. You, Pud, stop. Fleet Paw, Trekyards case study on yesterday's Enterprise. Adam Wozniak. Did you ever notice that Guinan has no eyebrows? It just occurred to me in the last episode of Picard, and I watched TNG at least 5 times. I think it might have been a Whoopi Goldberg thing. It was a Whoopi Goldberg thing, and yes, of course I noticed. She's never had eyebrows. In Sister Act and Ghost, in any of the movies she's ever done. It's just the Whoopi Goldberg thing. Yes. Another great live, says Laughable Larry. Well, thank you. General Grievous, no sir, completely new design. This time there's an opening so large that an entire ship can go through. On what? I don't know what we're talking about there, but let's see. I still don't have anything against those who dislike modern Star Trek, to be honest, says Donnie. Common sense, indeed. Let's see. I guess someone working on Discovery actually says everyone would guess it was Mirror Universe the moment Lorca put drops in his eye. Wow. That's incredibly stupid. General Grievous, maybe it's not that Terrans are sensitive to light. Discoverse has too many lens flares and the Terrans are the normal ones. Darth Eddie, the CBS problems with the Axanar fan films may very well be the reason that Garth Avizor isn't listed as one of the most decorated captains in Starfleet history in that one episode of Discovery. Well, the captains listed were ridiculous. You had Robert April, you had Giorgio for some goddamn reason. I think Pike was on there. It was just it was a Discovery way to do a list, and it was stupid. Captain, have you ever watched Shield of Tomorrow on YouTube? It was a Star Trek Adventures RPG storyline. For all those who have never heard of it, the USS Ross was done for that group. I have not seen those or heard of it. Dan says there's quite a few canceled Star Trek games. Yes, but none were as almost completely finished as Secret of Vulcan Fury, nor written by DC Fontana, nor with the great animation that they have. So yes, there's been a lot of canceled Star Trek games, but none that are more infuriating than the Secret of Vulcan Fury, because that game should still be able to come out. Plus, it had all the original voice actors reprising their roles, and all their shit was recorded and done. It's all available. It's all there. You got fucking DeForest Kelly. You've got James Doohan. You got their voices as Scotty and McCoy, and nobody's doing anything with it. It's fucking irritating, man. I think you're adorable, doggy. As much better co-host than Samuel. Samuel's here, man. Be nice. I got 2 Star Trek games on one of my smartphones, Fleet Command and Timelines. I play them occasionally. I have Timelines on my iPad, but I haven't played it in probably 2 years. Fleet Pod says, I think my favorite warp effect is the one where the ship goes by with pink and blue trailing effects after it. The stretch, then shoot off is my second favorite. What about the new version of Motion Picture? What about it? Shannon Murphy says, I don't get all the glossy surfaces in the new shows either. It's a starship, not a house of mirrors at your local state fair. Or provincial fair, in Canada's case. Captain Kirk is climbing a mountain. Why is he climbing a mountain? Because it's there. Adam says, I built my Star Trek model from Blue Bricks. The DD is saucer heavy and doesn't sit right on the stand. The board cube would not hold shape without a lot of glue. Expected more from Germans, but overall not bad. Yeah, the blueprint stuff looks interesting. I want to get some of the kits someday. Dan says, no, I think I was talking about some warp effect of the Enterprise in Kelvin Timeline where you see the back. General Grievous, $2. I would love to see Jellicoe on lower decks. That would be good. Is Ronnie Cox still alive? I don't even know. I don't think he is. Sean O'Sullivan, no, not even going to get into that. Sorry. I was talking about the Star Wars, how it should have ended. Star Trek Legacy has captains' voices. It does, but it doesn't have the whole crew. Anyway, Sean O'Sullivan would love to see a Star Trek virtual escape room with an away team with specialty medical, tactical science, etc. That'd be cool. Shannon Murphy, welcome to the Federation courtroom of space. Judge Judith Scheinlin. The cases are real, the verdict's final. Frontier. Saucy Puppet Show. I read that Burnham and the team of that era considered Star Trek as a period piece that took place in the future. This can explain why modern Trek acting and writing feels off. For sure. Christian Montgomery. Strange New Worlds Klingon leak. Is it real? Looked like a Klingon augment with forehead ridges. You know what it looked like? It looked like a fucking cosplayer from a convention. I still don't know if it's a leak officially or not. Or if it's actually from the set, but it could be. But I'm not going to comment on it either way, really, until I know for sure. Dan Ben. That's like Star Wars Battlefront 3, original game. Video game not being released. Sven says, good night from Germany. Good night, Sven. Cysteel and absolutes, not rumors. Sean O'Sullivan says, need to speak to your German cousins on Blue Bricks and tell them it is niche efficient, not efficient. John says, I think suspect Paramount have backwards terms when it comes to contracts with game developers. Godfather is a good example. Won Game of the Year, but not available for sale anymore. Fleetbot says, Ronnie Cox is still alive. He could still do it, assuming his voice doesn't sound all old. But he's 83, so an animated role would probably work well. Dan says, is there any Star Trek on Blu-ray that you would recommend? Yeah, all of it. Shannon says, I'd love to see a Firefly type series in the demilitarized zone between Federation and Cardassian space. That'd be fun. Oh yeah, so fun. So fun. Sean O'Sullivan, that could be fun for a live event. People do trials for entertainment. And at the end of the jury, vote. It'd be great to do it in a Star Trek setting. That's interesting, yeah. Nick says, Canada going to the World Cup, Captain? I have no idea. Is that some kind of sports ball thing? I have no idea. Paul N. Captain Jellicoe was actually a very good captain. Changed my mind. No, he was. He just approached it like an asshole. Fleet Pod, did you see Trek Culture's video today, Stuart? No, I did not. Shannon Murphy, wait, there was a demilitarized zone, or was the territory ceded to the Cardassians? It was given to the Cardassians, as I recall, because it was originally their territory, and that's why the Maquis were all, oh, this is our land. Godfather had a lot of likenesses and voice actors in it as well as the film score, so rights are an issue. I don't want excuses, I want the game. Pretty fucking simple concept. The original voice actors already signed their contracts that said they could use their voice, so who gives a flying fuck? They agreed to it. They recorded it. They should be used for something. It was nice saying we don't give much thought to rumors on chats. Yeah, I know, Pug. Dan Ben, I'm not sure if I want a Star Trek courtroom show, but I do like TOS court material and Drumhead. Shannon Murphy, I have a great respect for voice actors. I often daydream about doing that as a side job. Maybe one day I will. To be among the likes of Arlene Sorkin and Corey Burton. The Stanleys, it's where the Maquis was, says, okay. Matt Boardman, I can't remember if we've talked about this before, but I'm ashamed to admit that I didn't know Shatner had a much grander ending for Star Trek V planned. The budget wouldn't allow it. We've talked about it a few times here and there, but yes, the budget really fucked him on that movie, so I would give him a lot of credit for what actually he did accomplish, so yeah. Rock monsters and such would have been great. Okay, Matt Boardman, what are your thoughts on the ending, on that ending, and is it one that you would eventually see one day in an advanced director's cut? I thought it was ambitious for sure, and I would like to see it actually realized at some point. Absolutely, yes. But yeah, I think the original idea was much grander and much bigger and much better, and it would have felt more like a cohesive movie. Star Trek V gets a lot of hate that I don't think it deserves either. It's one of my guilty pleasure movies again. I rather enjoy Star Trek V for multiple reasons, and it's just the automatic, well, it's the worst one ever. Is it though? Have you seen 2000 and have you seen Into Darkness? You know what I mean? Like, I can see why it's called the worst of the original ones for sure, but there's a lot about it I really enjoy, so it's kind of a guilty pleasure for me. So, but yeah, I'd love to see a director's cut. Kit 10K throws in $20. Thank you so much, Kit. Good to see you. Hey, Cap, just woke up from taking a nap from working nights, and if they had Ronnie Cox did go on Lower Decks, it'd be funny if Peter Welker was on and they made some kind of remark to RoboCop, as they were both in the original. Admiral Marcus and Captain Jellicoe. Sean O'Sullivan, the Shuttle Bay in Star Trek V was the Coming to America throne room. They spared every expense. Shannon Murphy, think I can pull off a decent Harley Quinn from the Batman animated series? Probably. Sylvia can. Sylvia does a fantastic Harley Quinn. Sylvia does a lot of great accents and voices. Roleplay, anyone? Anyway, Dan Ben, are you looking forward to the sequel game in the future to Jedi Fallen Order? Yes, that was a great game. John McHugh, wish they gave their classic re-releases too. The rest of the Treks, Cheers, Taxi, etc. If you want to produce quality content, then you need to show respect to what came before. Absolutely. Goes without saying. The Darth Eddie, V was a clear reboot of the 1980s originals, but tried to milk the nostalgic factor from the originals by having Jane Batter return for an appearance as a different visitor character. Shatner directing. What would an actor need with a directing credit? Don't know. Star Trek Generations looks great on Blu-ray. The ship looks perfect. The model was refurbished before shooting, and the lighting and the stars, the lighting from the star gives the great tone to the sets. General Grievous, I wish they could finish Secret of Vulcan Fury for the 60th anniversary, at least as a tribute to the fans. Yes, in some form, gameplay or otherwise. Like I said, you got all the voices recorded. You could do a CG episode, or it's basically movie length. You could do a CG movie with the original cast. Hell yeah. Matt Boardman, I absolutely love Star Trek V. I've never understood the hate for it. Yes, there are some mistakes, but it felt like TOS to me, and I thought that there were good things in it. Yeah, I totally agree, Matt. Sean O'Sullivan, Star Trek V had a silly plot, secret Spock sibling we never heard of. Terrible idea. Thank God they never did something like that again. Star Trek V was better than many episodes and is much better than the ones after Nemesis. Star Trek The Final Frontier was a more cerebral movie in my opinion. I think the best lesson from it was using your pain to overcome what trials you're facing. Hezra says the Bendu recognized that they were both hypocrites. Jedi and Sith were extremists. The original Jedi were in the middle and balanced. Dun dun dun. John O'Sullivan would love a Lower Decks episode set entirely on quarks, done like Cheers. Star Trek V had a very deep spiritual undercurrent in how to make peace with the events that made us rise above it through personal intent. By the way, I love the idea of Shatner's rock monsters was made at the end. It's just that it was Galaxy Class in the end. Galaxy Quest, yeah. Star Trek V was a story that Roddenberry wanted to use for Star Trek 1. The studios wanted nothing to do with an attack on God. Ooh. It's perfect for Star Trek, though. Like, what the fuck? Anyway, Kit 10K throws in $10. Also, I do like Star Trek V as well. While it may not be the greatest of all time, I liked it because it had an extended TOS feel to it from two different episode styles. Yes, and you had the trifecta. You had the Kirk, Spock, and McCoy relationship just firing on all cylinders. And some good humor as well. Christopher Beatty, I've always been meh on Star Trek V. There are a lot of plot problems with it, but the gems in the rough more than make up for it. What does God need with a starship? Yeah. Sorry. Anyway, I need my pain. Darth Eddie, Captain McNamara in Season 2 of TNG says that they've mapped less than 10% of the galaxy at that point. So yeah, a lot of Alpha Quadrant is still to be explored and has never been visited. Amen. Kyrian Spores, would you ever like to see you content on the time between generations and Next Generation, nicknamed The Lost Years? We talked about that at the beginning of this live. Absolutely. The Lost Years are the perfect era. Beautiful ships, beautiful sets. I love that aesthetic. And yes, there's a lot of untapped potential there. So yes. Again with the Klingons. I too like Star Trek V. Kirk killing God. Classic TOS. Yes. Dan Ban under attack from the smoke creature from TOS. Yes. Now blow a smoke ship through a smoke ring. But mostly due to a 1,000-year-old long game plan by the Sith that was very brilliant, like getting a frog in a pot of water and slowly turning the heat up to cook it. You guys are going back and forth about Siths and shit. Stop that shit. Hezraz, I'm starting to feel the Watcher will return Picard and crew to the 24th century, drop them off with a magical portal door. Who knows? Kit 10K, Scott, I know this ship like the back of my hand. Bam! Yeah. Gorgonzola. Oh, can we have a video of you and Samuel singing the Come to Quarks jingle for April the 1st? No. Bodie McBoatface, $2. From Artie to Pug for treats. Artie? Artie's giving you treats, Puggins. Her head's hanging off the chair now. She's just laying there. I said treats, and her ears perked up a bit. Kirian says, I want to see it as well. Apologies for mistyping. Oh, no worries. Oh my god, my eye is starting to bug me. Itchy. Dan Ben, understand the joke with the rubber ducky room, but what do you think is actually in there? Oh, well, it's probably like a ball pit just full of rubber duckies. Fleet Paul says, I think it was the best line from Final Frontier. I need my pain. Lots of good quotable one-liners, but that one hits hard. Yes. JB, absolutely. I think Star Trek show set in the Romulan society based on inspiration from The Expanse could make for a really excellent show. The Romulans have a lot of unexplored space in their backyard. Amen. Dan Ben, do you like when Star Trek use or sing a song from the 20th or 21st century? Generally, yes. I just don't know why they do more classic, like, pop songs or whatever, because licensing rights, that's why. All this classical shit or whatever. But yeah, I wish there was more variety of music in Star Trek. Just because you're all like utopian and advanced. We don't need money anymore. We all listen to classical music. Fuck you do. Come on now. You'd be listening to fucking Backstreet Boys and shit as oldies. Come on. Get what the fuck. Just don't feed that shit to me that y'all listen to fucking classical music. That's just bullshit. Anyway, moving on. The Stanley. I've seen a few people saying the Watcher is the one blocking Q's powers from affecting the female Picard. Possibly. Gorgonzola. So Kirk discussing with God is just the next step up after discussing all those mad supercomputers to their graves. Yes, it is. General Grievous. I actually like the character growth of Cybok getting caught up almost in a situation like Lore, and Data being the odd man out, but unlike Lore, he tried to make things right at the end. Pretty much, yeah. Let's see. Kieran Spores. I see Picard going to Whoopi Guinan, thanking her for helping in 2024, only for her to say she'd never seen him after the 1890s until the Enterprise. She does, however, sense her alternate self. Yes, that'd be awesome. Christopher Beatty, doesn't Riker love 20th century jazz? One more thing, did you hear? I don't know if you've heard, but all the shuttles on the Titan are named after jazz musicians. Who knew? Who knew? I don't know if you've heard that. It's a rumor. And jazz is just like classical music, so don't get me started. Same kind of shit. They'd be listening to pop shit. Come on now. They would be. Hezraz, it would be interesting if for centuries the Romulans were divided and just outwardly looked united. Hell yeah. When Spock and Number One are singing show tunes. Yeah. Kit 10K, I agree with you on the style of music needing to be broader, which is why my book, The Captain, is a fan of AC/DC. Nice. I am also a fan of AC/DC, so that's cool. Yeah, and I guess that they did Beastie Boys in 2009 and beyond, but it's still, if they have Beastie Boys, that means Intergalactic, the song, exists. Just like a pinch in the neck from Mr. Spock. It's one of the lines. It would have been great if that's the song they were playing when they were like clearing out, when him and McCoy were clearing out the swarm ships. And yeah, the lyric comes on, just like a pinch in the neck from Mr. Spock, and McCoy's like, looks at Spock, and Spock like raises an eyebrow and like, that would have been fucking hilarious. Too meta though. Yeah, whatever. Discovery, Tilly, and Stamets were singing. They were. Named after jazz musicians. I didn't know that at all. I learned something. Titan shuttles are named after jazz musicians. Are they? Where'd you hear that, man? That's fucking awesome. It's the first time hearing about it, Fleet Paw. Thank you for sharing that. That's awesome. I didn't know. That's amazing. Holy shit. Hezraz, I think it was foreshadowing. Dan Ben, the Doctor and Voyager, someone's in the kitchen with Dina. Raj, I did not know that, but it is great having the shuttles named after jazz musicians on Titan. What? All the Titan shuttles are named after jazz musicians? Raj, what the fuck? Where'd you hear that? That is awesome. I like that they did that, because Riker likes jazz. That's cool. I didn't know that. That's epic. You learn something new every day. Especially in doing what I do. I mean, it's amazing. Paul N., whatever happened to the planet that made all the androids from the Harry Mudd episode in TOS? I don't know. Don't know what happened. General Grievous, the only problem with Palps keeping... don't care. We're not talking about that. You guys are having a conversation on your own. I'm not going to get involved anymore. Hezraz, Guinan remembers a bit with time travel powers. Richard Kennedy, I'm really loving the interaction between Girardi and the Borg Queen in Picard Season 2. It is very Trek. It keeps the Trekness when in the 21st century. Yeah, absolutely. Girardi's been fantastic this season. Absolutely love her character now. So they turned it around. I hated her character in Season 1 for multiple reasons, but then being a murderer on top of it all. But Season 2, they've really done a good job of making me like her, so. The fun will now commence. The scenes between Girardi and the Borg Queen are awesome. Sean says, we saw Cisco name the runabout, so it's probably Captain's Privilege. Yeah, I would assume so. And they were all named after rivers on Earth. Shannon Murphy. No, not reading it, don't care. Raj, indeed, learn something new every day. About what? What happened? What'd you learn? Did you learn something? Did I tell you something? I don't even know. Let me know what you learned, because, I love when I'm delayed in the chat, people comment on stuff I said like a few minutes ago and I forget. So what did you learn? I don't even know. But I'm glad you learned something. Hezraz, that is why I think the scene where Guinan talks to Picard and says she has never seen him like that, then thinks and remembers and says, actually, I have. I have indeed. You look so familiar. It's a bald man thing, you see. I think you were kind to me once. I'm Guinan. Because that's how Guinan acts. Just like the new actress really nailed how Guinan acts. 100%. Fuck's sakes. Who gets to name starships then? The admirals, probably? I don't know. Shannon says, I'm a simple woman. I'd name my shuttles after my dogs. Sean O'Sullivan, looking at memory beta, the shuttles are Holiday, Cochrane, Davis, Armstrong, etc. So checks out. About what? What checks out? Shuttles for what? What? Shuttles. But General Grievous, both he set himself up as a hero, so don't care. So, Captain, after whom or what would you name your ship's shuttles? You know what? That's a good question. Let me see. Let me look around here. I would probably name my shuttles after Sherlock Holmes characters or Sherlock Holmes stories. That'd be interesting. Or sexy ladies throughout history. Like the Cleopatra and, the Mae West and the Sophie D. Yeah, the Allison Angel.